Keith Urban has a younger lady friend?
Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, after almost 20 years of marriage, they would have celebrated their 20th anniversary in 2026, that they had separated. We were told Nicole really still wanted to try and make the marriage work. Not too long after that, we learned that she had kind of given up on that ever happening and had in fact filed for divorce.
Nicole Kidman files for divorce from Keith Urban.
When Nicole filed, they had already agreed on almost everything in the divorce. So talking about custody of their 14 and 17-year-old kids, talking about possible child support, alimony, everything like that.
The Oscar-winning actress has taken the next step in ending her marriage to the country singer. The news comes one day after E! News confirmed that the A-listers had separated after 20 years together. The pair's decision to separate was one-sided, and that Nicole did not want to part ways with Keith, as she's been trying to save the marriage since they opted to live apart since the beginning of summer.
According to reports, Nicole and Keith had a prenup that included a quote-unquote clause. So Nicole, according to this report, would pay Keith $600,000 for every year he stayed off the blow.
19 years of marriage shattered. Nicole Kidman has finally revealed the heartbreaking reason she's ending it with Keith Urban, and it's devastating. After standing by him through addiction, fame, and nearly 2 decades of love, Nicole admits Keith's heart now belongs to someone else. The fairy tale romance that once gave Hollywood hope has collapsed into betrayal, heartbreak, and a truth no one saw coming. 2 days ago, Nicole Kidman officially filed for divorce from Keith Urban in a Nashville court, citing irreconcilable differences. Now, I know what you're thinking. Weren't they like the perfect couple? According to multiple sources, these two have been living apart since the beginning of summer. For months, Nicole has reportedly been holding their family together, taking care of their 2 daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, while this marriage was crumbling behind closed doors. But wait, it gets so much worse. Sources close to the situation are now claiming that Keith Urban may already be involved with another woman. And Nicole, she reportedly feels completely betrayed. One insider told the media that all the signs point to the fact Keith is with another woman, and that while Nicole doesn't dispute it, she's still shocked over it. Can you even imagine? 19 years of marriage, 2 beautiful children, and suddenly, boom, everything's imploding, and there's allegedly someone new already in the picture? This is absolutely devastating. But before we get deeper into the drama, let's rewind. Because to understand how shocking this divorce really is, you need to know just how epic Nicole and Keith's love story was supposed to be. It was January 2005, and both Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban attend the G-Day USA Gala in Los Angeles. This event was all about celebrating Australian talent in America, and these 2 Aussie superstars were both there, representing their homeland. According to their own accounts, when they met, there was an instant connection, but Keith didn't even ask for Nicole's number that night. Can you believe it? Nicole later admitted in interviews that she was interested immediately, but Keith took 6 months before he reached out. 6 months. She even said she thought he wasn't interested because he didn't call, but when he finally did make his move, things moved fast. By May 2006, just over a year after they met, they were saying I do at a romantic ceremony in Sydney, Australia. The wedding was intimate, beautiful, and completely dreamy. All the photos showed them looking at each other like they'd just discovered what love actually meant. The world collectively swooned. And here's what made everyone believe in them. Nicole had just come out of a very public, very painful divorce from Tom Cruise in 2001. That marriage had been under intense scrutiny, and the split left Nicole dealing with heartbreak in the spotlight. So when she found love again with Keith, it felt like a redemption arc. It felt like she'd finally found her person. Keith, meanwhile, had his own demons he was battling. Just months after their wedding, he checked into rehab for alcohol addiction. And Nicole? She stood by him. She showed up, supported him, and helped him through one of the darkest periods of his life. He later credited her with saving his life. That's the kind of love story that makes you believe in soulmates. They built what seemed like an incredibly strong foundation. In 2008, they welcomed their first daughter, Sunday Rose. Then in 2010, their second daughter, Faith Margaret, was born via surrogate. Nicole was open about their fertility struggles and how grateful they were to have their family. They split their time between Nashville, Los Angeles, and Australia, creating this beautiful international life together. For years, they were the couple that gave everyone hope. They'd show up on red carpets looking completely in love. Keith would write songs about Nicole. She'd gush about him in interviews. They seemed to have cracked the code on making a Hollywood marriage actually work. But looking back now, there were signs. Oh, there were definitely signs. And we're kicking ourselves for not seeing them sooner. Let's talk about June 25th, 2025. That was Nicole and Keith's 19th wedding anniversary. Nicole posted a sweet tribute on social media, celebrating their years together. And Keith's response? A single emoji. One emoji. No words, no heartfelt message, just a heart emoji. At the time, some fans thought it was odd, but most brushed it off. Now it hits different. Then there's the physical distance. Throughout 2024 and into 2025, Keith and Nicole were rarely seen together. Keith was on tour, Nicole was filming projects, and while celebrity couples often have demanding schedules, insiders are now saying that the distance wasn't just physical, it was emotional too. One source close to the couple revealed that they'd been growing apart for a while. The spark that once defined their relationship had dimmed. They were living separate lives, and according to reports, they'd both checked out of the marriage, emotionally, long before any official filing happened. And then there are the rumors about Keith's behavior. Multiple sources are now claiming that Keith had become increasingly distant and secretive. There are whispers about late-night phone calls, unexplained absences, and a general shift in his priorities. Nicole allegedly started noticing changes in his behavior earlier this year, but she reportedly tried to hold things together for the sake of their daughters. Now, let's talk about the other woman rumors, because this is where things get really messy. While no one has officially been named, sources are claiming that Keith has been seeing someone new, and that this relationship may have started before the marriage officially ended. We're talking about a potential overlap here, people. According to insiders, Nicole is absolutely devastated by this betrayal. After standing by Keith through his addiction struggles, after building a family with him, after 19 years of commitment, she allegedly discovered that he'd moved on emotionally, and possibly physically, with someone else. One source stated that Nicole feels like she's been made a fool of, that she was the last to know what was really going on. And for someone as private and dignified as Nicole Kidman, this public humiliation must be absolutely crushing. There are also reports that Keith's touring schedule may have provided cover for this alleged relationship. Being on the road for months at a time, staying in different cities, it would have been relatively easy to keep things hidden. And Nicole, busy with her own career and raising their daughters, may not have suspected anything until it was too late. But here's what makes this even more painful. Nicole has always been incredibly supportive of Keith's career. She'd show up to his concerts, post about his music, and publicly champion his work. She was his biggest fan, and if these allegations are true, that loyalty was not reciprocated. Now, let's talk about what happens next, because this divorce is about to get complicated. We're talking about a massive fortune here. Nicole Kidman's net worth is estimated at around $250 million. Keith Urban's is around $75 million. Combined, that's over $300 million on the table. Tennessee, where the divorce was filed, is an equitable distribution state, which means assets are divided fairly, but not necessarily equally, given that Nicole is the higher earner. This could get very interesting. There are properties to divide, including homes in Nashville, Los Angeles, New York, and Australia. There are investments, royalties, and ongoing income from both their careers. And then there are the kids. Sunday Rose is 16 now, and Faith Margaret is 14. Both girls are at crucial ages, and the custody arrangement is going to be a major focus of this divorce. Sources say Nicole wants primary custody, with Keith having generous visitation rights. But will Keith fight for more? That remains to be seen. There's also the question of privacy. Nicole is famously private about her personal life. She rarely discusses her relationships in detail and keeps her children completely out of the spotlight. This divorce filing has thrust her back into tabloid territory, which is exactly where she never wanted to be again after her divorce from Tom Cruise. Friends of Nicole say she's devastated, but trying to stay strong for her daughters. She's reportedly leaning on her close friends and family during this incredibly difficult time. Her mother, Janelle, has always been a huge source of support, and Nicole's inner circle is rallying around her. As for Keith, he's been notably silent. He hasn't addressed the divorce publicly, and his social media has gone quiet. Some sources claim he's avoiding the spotlight until his legal team figures out the best strategy. Others say he's genuinely remorseful about how things ended and doesn't want to cause Nicole any more pain. But here's the thing that's really bothering people. If the allegations about another woman are true, why didn't Keith just leave first? Why wait until Nicole filed? Some are speculating that he wanted to avoid being seen as the bad guy, that he was hoping Nicole would be the one to pull the trigger, so he could walk away with his reputation somewhat intact. The irony is, of course, that the rumors have done the exact opposite. Keith's image as the devoted husband and family man is completely shattered. His fans are divided, some defending him and saying we don't know the full story, others calling him out for allegedly betraying a woman who stood by him through everything. Nicole, meanwhile, is getting an outpouring of support. People are praising her strength, her grace under pressure, and her commitment to protecting her children through this nightmare. She's being painted as the victim in this scenario, and honestly, based on what we know, it's hard to argue with that narrative. Looking back at their relationship now, it's wild how differently we see certain moments. Remember when Keith would tear up during interviews, talking about how Nicole saved his life? Remember when Nicole would say that marrying Keith was the best decision she ever made? All of those moments now feel tinged with sadness, knowing how this story ends. There's also been speculation about whether work stress contributed to the breakdown. Nicole has been busier than ever, with multiple projects in production and awards buzz surrounding her recent performances. Keith, too, has been touring relentlessly. Some relationship experts are suggesting that they simply grew apart, that they became more like business partners and co-parents than romantic partners. But the alleged infidelity, if true, adds a whole different layer to this story. It's one thing to grow apart naturally. It's another thing entirely to actively pursue someone else while still married. And that's what has people so angry on Nicole's behalf. So where do things stand right now? Nicole has filed for divorce. The legal process has begun. Both parties have hired top attorneys, and the negotiations are likely already underway. Given the high-profile nature of this split, we can expect both sides to try and keep things as private as possible, but leaks are inevitable. The big question now is, will we ever find out the full truth? Will Keith address the allegations? Will the mystery woman ever be identified? Or will this divorce be settled quietly, with both parties moving on without ever confirming or denying the rumors? What we do know is that this marks the end of one of Hollywood's most beloved marriages. The couple that gave us hope, that showed us love, could survive addiction, career pressures, and the intense scrutiny of fame, has called it quits. And that's incredibly sad, no matter what the circumstances are. For Nicole, this is her second public divorce from a high-profile man. But unlike her, split from Tom Cruise, where she remained relatively silent, she seems more in control this time. She's the one who filed. She's the one setting the narrative. And she's not going to let this define her. As for Keith, his legacy is now forever complicated. He'll always be known as an incredible musician, but this divorce, and the allegations surrounding it, will be part of his story too. Whether he can rebuild his reputation remains to be seen. So guys, that's where we are with the Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban divorce saga. It's shocking, it's heartbreaking, and it's far from over. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any updates as this story continues to develop. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Are you Team Nicole? Do you think the cheating allegations are true? Let's discuss. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.